Hi, my name is Josh Munoz, and I'm going to talk to you guys about translating glasses for the deaf. So, what made me think of this idea? Well, I work with someone who is deaf. I don't know much about him, and I would like to. However, I find it awkward to attempt to have a real conversation. I do know a few things about him, though. For example, his wife speaks Chinese Sign Language, which is different from ASL. I thought it was a universal language, but it is not. I was woefully ill-informed before I took this project on. Also, I found out that people in the deaf community can sometimes feel isolated. This is in part too when out in public or at work, there is no one else for them to talk to. The pandemic can make it even more difficult for them as well, and I'll expand on that in a moment. Finally, I just want to make the world a better place, and maybe we can come together just a bit more. Deaf people want a more convenient and efficient way to communicate with hearing people. One of the problems is that hearing people virtually have no knowledge of sign language. This leads to deaf or hard of hearing people sometimes feeling isolated. There is no one around them that speaks the same language. It's like going to a foreign country where no one speaks English and you're just barely wading your way through. Mask mandates make it even harder because they can't even lip read anymore. Before the pandemic, deaf people could get by a little with lip reading because they can usually catch about 30% of what someone is saying and get the rest from context. Having to wear masks completely eliminates that advantage. Finally, the current alternatives and competitors can be too expensive and or difficult to use in public. The competitors. We'll start with interpreters. Interpreters are expensive and inconvenient for most people. They are good for public speaking and concerts, but getting one to have an everyday conversation would be overkill. Google Translate does not specifically help the deaf and hard of hearing. It is also difficult to translate in real time. Google Glass is the closest thing to a real competitor, and their translating in real time is lacking, and also they were not specifically built for this purpose. They would not be able to specifically accommodate the deaf and hard of hearing community. The target market is the deaf community, hard of hearing, and their friends. The deaf community can communicate with itself and online with others. In-person communication is limited, however, to how much effort people want to put into understanding each other. The solution is glasses that have real-time translation that will transcribe what someone is saying in ASL for the user. That means they will see the hand signs on their lenses to understand what others are saying to them. If they prefer written language, that can be easily accommodated. Along with hardware will be an app that can translate the user's hand signs, which will be picked up by a small camera on their glasses, into the English language or whatever language is preferred to the person they are speaking with. This will be connected to the user's smartphone through an app that will sync up with the glasses. Furthermore, there will be different designs to look sleek and fashionable and also accommodate those who already have prescription glasses. If possible, I try to make it so the glasses can have the user's prescription lenses put in. My product will revolutionize communication with deaf people and eventually people all over the world. This product will be the most useful tool for communication for the deaf and hard of hearing than ever before. Right now, focusing on this niche market is my priority. When the time is right, I'd like to branch out to other languages of the world. I believe my product will bring the deaf and hearing together more than ever before. Maybe I'll even get the chance to know my coworker more. Thank you.